right, good morning and good afternoon, my upperclassmen. This video will serve as a reminder on how to access our SOL prep materials when we're not in class, because I know you're reaching out and some of your parents and families are reaching out. And then I'm also going to review the 5 SOL prep questions that you should have already completed on our Asynchronous Monday. That was January 11th. So this, as you can see, is our home screen, right? I've mentioned it before. I'm going to go through it again. This button, SOL Prep, links you to the archived, released SOL tests. Remember, we are looking for our grade level, and we are considered the end of course reading because this is the last reading SOL that you are required to take and pass. There are many different dates for you to choose from. The template will look a little different. The template changed, I think, after 2013 or 2014. Okay, so a reminder, we're looking for EOC course reading, and you can take them as practice. I do recommend having paper and pencil and writing down your answers. I'm just going to click on the 2007 because our reading SOL is comprised of different types of questions. Okay. And I just want to show you an example of 2. So one is read a passage, and then there's comprehension questions. And then some I consider questions in isolation, meaning you don't really need to read that lengthy passage to answer the question. Here's what I mean. Directions say read the selection on bus stops and answer the questions that follow. This is a lengthy passage, right? Wow, really lengthy. Okay. Notice question 1. In paragraph 4, the word acclimate means to. I would consider this a question in isolation. All you have to do is go back to paragraph 4 and use context clues for that word. Same thing for number 2. Number 3, but not number 4. Look at number 4. The details in paragraph 3 are important because, so this is definitely a comprehension question. You will need to read that paragraph. Again, for number 5, that's considered a comprehension question. Number 6, comprehension. 7, comprehension. 8, comprehension. Definitely 9, definitely 10, and 11, and 12. Okay, so you'll notice a lot of these are comprehension questions. I'm going to continue to show you some sample questions, so bear with me. Look at number 15. Which of these online sources would provide the best information about new physical therapy techniques? I would consider this an isolation question. You don't need to have read the passage to be successful on this question. Why? Because as juniors and seniors, my upperclassmen, you know the difference of a research process. Here's one too. Look at question 23. This is definitely a question in isolation. Read this excerpt from Philip Talbert's presentation on aquatic therapy to the State Physical Therapy Conference. So they have literally restated the text that they want you to examine. So this, you can totally answer this without having read the lengthy passage. Again, question in isolation versus comprehension question. I am going to jump back to the SOL prep that was assigned Asynchronous Monday 111. Okay? All of these questions, and I stated it in the direction, I considered questions in isolation. That means, again, you do not need to read a lengthy passage to answer the questions. Number 1, windows rattled and floors shook. The sound was a giant hand shaking Lydia Kilkenny's sleeping shoulders. This sentence contains an example of. The correct answer is a metaphor because a giant hand is shaking Lydia Kilkenny's sleeping shoulders. The sound was that giant hand. Comparing two different things is a metaphor. If it said the sound was like, that word lets us know it would have been a simile. Number 2, read this chunk. Each morning she did not awaken to the sound, but inside it. In winter, the drays came when the sky was still dark, their pounding hooves, sharp reports against the frozen cobblestones. In summer, perhaps the sky was already pale with light. The sound of the horses seemed kinder. This is a context clues. It's asking you what the meaning is of sharp reports. The meaning is abrupt, explosive noises. Context clues, pounding. Also, notice this last, the sound of the sort, perhaps because in the summer the sound seemed kinder. So this is telling you it's the opposite of whatever sharp reports is. It is abrupt, it is loud. Number 3, read this chunk. There, the saute, sawdust, and straw effaced the airborne tang of leather and glue from the nearby shoe factory and muted the call of the ragman. We're again using context clues for the word effaced, and it means reduced to nothing. Number 4, which sentence contains an example of alliteration? The wooden wagons were heavy and low riding with loud rattling wheels. That w sound, the W, the alliteration is repeated beginning sounds. The wooded wagons, wheels, that is repeated. Number 5, if the student researches the difference in employment status between men and women, which website would be the best source of information? We can do this because we know we should have mastered the research process. We are looking for a difference in employment status between men and women. Is it careerguide.com? A guidance to people who are looking for jobs? Is it labor statistics? A statistical site that provides a range of employment trends, right? We're looking for the difference. Obviously, it's B, it's that one. We also have careersingovernment.net on how to apply, and nationalemploymentcompany.net. Counseling gives an overview. So notice the question. For those of you that got this wrong, take some time and hear me out. Notice the question. We're looking for the difference, so a comparison. We are not looking for guidance for a new job. We are not looking to apply for a new job. We are not looking for an overview of options, again, because we're not looking for a new job. We're looking for the differences or trends, okay? That is all for this video. Please, 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 we are looking for 3 out of 5. 3 out of 5 will suffice. If you are scoring a 1 or a 2, please reach out to me or Mrs. Cleveno. Stay after class. Let's work up a tutoring schedule. Reading SOL, January 22nd. I love you all.